Welcome to an all-new style D&BTV with myself, Dave Jenkins. More news, more interviews, more parties, more people, more information, more drum and bass. We'll be coming at you every season, looking back over the last few months of our beautifully sprawling scene and a cheeky look forward to see what beats are on the horizon. Coming up, Andy C confirms plenty of new music.
There's a bunch of other music coming as well.
So do Camo Krooked.
To write a couple of bangers.
Brian G cracks open a cool, refreshing can of truth.
No.
We're making a sick sound with Cove in just 60 seconds. We've been to Let It Roll Winter. We've been to Serum Studio. We've been on the road with Andy C. And we're catching up with the currently unstoppable Mantra. And we have a world exclusive from Benny L. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Before all that, though, news. What a mad couple of months it's been for drum and bass. We've had the genre wars. We've had wheelupgate. We've had more dubplate chatter than a busy day down Music House circa 1999. And Tyson Fury is now a drum and bass MC? Especially since Benny L set a major precedent in January with the first ever drum and bass overall Beatport #1. Perhaps the most significant drum and bass news this season was his remix of John Holt's Policing Helicopter. It hit the top spot on Beatport as the biggest selling download over all genres. Take that, techno. What an incredible look for the genre and what an incredible level for the man like Benny. And it came from what was ostensibly a dub. Basically, if you didn't hear Policing Helicopter in the dance last year, are you really a drum and bass fan? It was everywhere. All of the big DJs had it, yet it went on to be the highest selling download on Beatport for 2 whole weeks. Proof that the culture that our whole genre is founded on is still just as strong and vital today as it ever was. Tunes that are broken in the club over time always do better than those kept on lockdown before release. But don't take my word for it though. Take the word of some of the DJs we asked about it and Let It Roll recently.
And this has been missing in the drum bass scene for quite a while. So for us, it's always a bit about run-ups to a release because people are longing for the tune. And then when it's out, it's worth nothing anymore anyways, you know?
Like you said, everyone has access to everything on Spotify, on YouTube and whatever. But people still don't have the access to these exclusive tunes. It's kind of like got itself a little resurgence. I think it's a good thing. It means people's sets are unique and original, and people want to go and see these people to play out these tunes, etc., etc.
Yeah. Well, dubplate culture's always worked for me. I've always been keen to give the right people the right tune to, give them it to test, give them it to start to spread the word. So, that's how you build a vibe on a tune, and that's how you've always built a vibe on a record in this game. And think about it, the guys that were part of this scene right from the very beginning, we grew up in the reggae and sound system culture. So to us, dubplates was just normality.
We can't chat about drum and bass this season without talking about the genre wars. Our role is a subgenre. Simple question, simple answer. No, in my humble opinion. But others disagree. For the last God knows how long, a worrying amount of the D&B internet community has been referring to rollers as a subgenre. This irked a lot of fans, including one particular UKF writer, Layla Marino, who wrote a pretty succinct argument as to why they're not a subgenre. She even got comments from guys like Serum, Andy C, Anti-C1, Shimon, and many more. Case closed? No. The whole fiasco was decreed the genre wars as folks proceeded to meme and joke the topic into several weeks of oblivion. To be fair, some of the memes and the comments and the jokes were hilarious, but it went on and on. The problem is, rollers come in all different shapes and styles and flavours. This is a Bristol roller. This is a techie roller. And this is a soulful roller. And this is what a lot of DJs we met at Let It Roll Winter had to say about the whole thing.
They're not. It's actually just an aesthetic, a sonic aesthetic, as we coin it. It just rolls ahead. It can be a liquid roller. It can be like a deep roller, or it can be like a dance floor roller. Everything could be a roller, but it's definitely not a subgenre for all of you out there.
Are rollers a subgenre? No. No. No.
Have you seen this as well? You don't spend enough time on Facebook, do you?
I don't need to spend time on Facebook, mate. I got a life.
And if that's not quite enough for you, then talk to Brian G.
No. I mean, people might think it is now because it's getting talked about, but we were talking about rollers from these days, you get what I'm saying? And it was jungle, but it's just that type of jungle, it just rolls, you get what I'm saying? That rolling beat, that rolling vibe.
Thank you, Brian. Words of wisdom, and there'll be plenty more from him as we catch up with the V guys later on in the show. But first, a few birthday shout-outs. I know it's usually the MCs who have the birthday bashes, but let's allow the labels a little bit of birthday love too. We're only 3 months deep into the year, but already we've seen some interesting new label launches. Audio has just launched his own label, Snake Pit Records, with the balmy banger Frog March. Obi-Wan has just launched Rebel Music, which has shot through the gates with monthly massive EPs from the like of NC-17, Science of Man and Confucius, and a sick monthly Sunday night in London. And Teddy Killers and Ghidra have launched Neuropunk Records. It's off the back of the hugely popular Neuropunk podcast, which was a major catalyst in what the Russians called the golden age of drum and bass, which went on through most of the 2000s. We caught up with Greg from Teddy Killers and members of Aggressive Bunks and Ghidra underneath a massive statue of Kafka in Prague recently.
It's just gonna be like a new label from our community, made from the residents of Neuropunk podcast, who are coming from all ex-Soviet territories, and it's a massive thing for us next step for the scene. Well, the Neuropunk is planning our second release, which is gonna be out soon, hopefully, and we're gonna build like a thing around the label, which will include booking agency, which is already working with Ghidra and a couple of new acts coming. We're gonna also launch a series of releases for newcomers called Neuropunk Forge. A lot of exciting things happening. We're just like at the beginning of our journey, like new chapter of our journey, and it's super exciting, and there is a lot of opportunities. We're just like having a look and trying to get the best for our label.
But it's not just new labels being born, there's been a lot of significant label anniversaries too. V are celebrating 25 years, Trace's Decipher, John B's Beta, GQ's MC Recordings, and Dutch Titan Focus and Drum Sound and Bassline Smith's Technique are all celebrating 20 years long service. Both Shogun Audio and Viper turn 15, Lifestyle, Neo Signal, Astrophonica, G13 and Utopia all turn 10, as do the mighty UKF, who kicked off their celebrations nice and early with Camo Krooked's Atlas. An absolute dreamboat of a tune and their first new material since their fourth album Mosaic in 2017, and they tell us it's the first of many tracks that they're about to release this year. To quote the guys, "We're back on the attack." Here's what they had to say when we caught up with them before.
I think probably end of April we are like, we have a couple, like, things changed. We have a couple tunes in the stash and some good ones, like a couple of collaborations, and as well label-wise there will be some exciting news coming around the corner, or maybe when this is gonna air then it will already be out there, but it's exciting times for us.
Camo Krooked there, and stick around for more from them in our Let It Roll Winter Roundup, where they absolutely stole the show. I'll tell you who else has stolen the show this season. For me, there have been a few heroes, but these two in particular spring to mind the most. Firstly, Mampi Swift. Life has dealt some pretty vicious hands to this man over the last few years, but ever the fighter, he's risen to every challenge, and now he's about to release his long awaited album, his first since Music Forever in 2005, entitled Victory Rose. The name celebrates both his parents, Victor and Rose, and it's been on the cards for a very, very long time. It kicks off with the absolutely heaving Victory, and I personally think it's one of Mampi's best tunes since The One. Seriously, it goes like this. Mampi, we salute you. Tell you who else I'm saluting pretty hard right now? Fixate. In case he wasn't enough of a G already, what with his extensive body of work on labels such as Exit and his recent collaborations with Dub Physics and Lewis James, his jungleized take on a seminal speed garage anthem Rip Groove Double 99 has been taking the world by storm. Banger. Quite a few big bootlegs doing the rounds right now, such as Come Together, Be True and Shot Down. It's actually been around for quite a few minutes now. I remember him smashing the Portal stage at Let It Roll last year with the tune. But it was Sherelle who gave the tune the most maximum of boost on her Boiler Room set recently this year. In the words of the Butters boss man Elijah, this clip will go down in history. Vibes. However, this clip will also go down in history from the very same set. Yes, another contentious issue in drum and bass this year so far has been wheelupgate. But don't get it twisted. Riz Latif's rewind was perhaps one of the most poorly timed reloads ever, but it's been made very clear that he meant it in total respect for Sherelle and the music. It did, however, seem to stir up some pretty strong reactions on whether anybody else but the DJ should be wheeling things up. So I put it to some DJs that we met at Let It Roll to see what they thought of the matter.
Where do you stand on reloads? Not you doing the reload, but one of your mates leaning over because you just dropped the gully tune, one of your mates leans over and reloads it. How do you feel about this?
It depends on what mate it is, probably. If it's another guy, if it's someone from our musical background, yeah, go ahead, do it.
Well, I love that. You know, at the end of the day, that sort of shit's been going on in this scene for many, many moons, way, way, way back, because that's just like the spur of the moment where the DJ's playing whatever tune he's playing or whatever mix he's playing, and the vibe's just taken over by the person from what the DJ's doing, and the person's just said, nah, I'm not having that. It's got to come back. Mate, when somebody does that to you, there's no better feeling. It's better than you rewinding that tune yourself.
Pretty much unanimous there. But of course, when it comes to reloads, we all know who the true master is. And from reloads, we go to reducing the tempo. D&B purists, look away now. Is it just me? Or are there more drum and bass artists flexing the old 140 vibes again? Well, we're not quite at the same heady levels of 2009 where every drum and bass artist was getting involved in dirty dubstep melting pot. There's definitely been a lot more experimentation this year than there has been in recent years. Icicle is going back on the dark dub styles with his Raising the Dead EP. Doc Scott played his first ever 140 set of heavyweight in January, and Skeptical has something planned too. That's not all. Kyrist has also been smashing it on a 140 tip this year too. She came crashing into 2019 with a killer dubstep EP on Uprise in January. Her first non-D&B release. I interviewed her about it at the time, and she explained how dubstep was actually the first music that she produced, and how the release came about through a D&B dubstep hybrid set that she was booked to play at Vision State in Leeds. The power of promoters. In fact, the vital role of the regional promoter is something that Andy C gets very candid about when I joined him on the road. That's coming up later on in the show, but before that, we're catching up with another promoter, DJ, and all-round legend in the game right now, Mantra. We'll be chatting about the biggest story in recent times, which outshines any genre wars, wheelupgate, or dubplate story. Yes, we're talking about the rise of female artists in the scene. This has been a huge and necessary conversation in recent years, and we're beginning to see some really positive results with drum and bass looking less like a sausage sizzle day by day. In fact, on March the 8th, International Women's Day, Mantra curated the first female lineup for Rupture's Room 1. Joining Mantra was Storm, Flight, Jin, Panka, Sherelle, Flavor, Sweet Pea, Yorubi and Pojamaya, while Ali Cat and Louise Plus One repped in Room 2. Even by Rupture's diverse standards, that was a pretty landmark night. We're catching up with Mantra right now. It's just time for one more thing. As promised at the start of the show, we have a massive Benny L world exclusive. Remember this? Joshua McGregor has got in touch saying he would quite like to see Benny L sing Low Blow. You and me both, mate. You asked, we're about to deliver. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in June. Rest in peace, Andy Scopes. Rest in peace, Keith Flint. Here's Benny L. Peace.
Okay, we're backstage at Let It Roll with a very, very special guest, Benny L. And for closure, as requested at the Drum&BassArena Awards 2018, he's going to do an a cappella of Low Blow. Benny, take it away. There is so much beauty in the world. Thank you very much, Benny.